Well, now the Capital Markets Authority Performance has highlighted there is more than 1.46 trillion Ugandan shillings of the growth that has been registered. Now, the CMA has as well surpassed the National Development Plan 3 with this particular kind of performance. But speaking of capital markets, you can still invest in Uganda's capital market space with Zabu. Zabu is a platform that gives you that advantage with just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. You will be able to invest in government bonds and definitely make it out in there. Of course, Zabu is a platform by Altex East Africa, and it says do something new today. It is as simple as you can get it. Zabu, my money, my future. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Please do note that these markets are fully closed on public holidays and during the weekend. So you can use the time between 8:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. Monday to Friday to invest in government bonds. Zabu, my money, my future. Altex East Africa, do something new. If you do not have an account yet, use your need to register, and in the next 24 hours, you will be eligible to invest. Now let's head into our SMB Insight this morning, as there's a policy oversight, according to the Capital Markets Authority, which has helped the growth of the market. And also, the CMA has an economic role to support economic activities within the country. We discuss and discover more of its performance in 2022 in the Insight this morning.
I also recognize the policy guidance provided by the board that has seen the assets under the management by collective investment schemes managers grow exponentially, as she said, to 1.46 trillion shillings at the end of September 2022. So by now, I'm sure it must have grown bigger. And that was from 69 billion shillings in September 2017. At the start of the term of the outgoing board. So we want to thank them for that tremendous achievement. Impressively, CMA has surpassed this National Development Plan 3 targets 3 years ahead of the scheduled period. We have just been doing a review of the National Development Plan, being the Minister for Planning and the custodian for this plan, and a number of targets have not actually been achieved. For you to have surpassed the targets, you must be congratulated for that great achievement. Because as I said, there has been a lot of turmoil caused by COVID. A lockdown of 2 years is not a small problem. I also want to thank the outgoing board for providing policy oversight that has led to the growth and depth of the capital markets. I want to thank the management and staff of CMA for working tirelessly to ensure that the capital markets have a sufficient legal framework that protects investors and facilitates the development of capital markets. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not seem to have many options now for financing our development, apart from looking for options like this one, the capital market. The market is increasingly volatile. Those who have been giving us concessional loans are slowly coming out. So we really don't have so many options. We have to rely on our people, our companies, investors, to raise the necessary capital for our investment, for financing our development. The capital markets play an important role in supporting economic activity, and their resilience is vital to financial stability. They provide a significant source of long-term funds to businesses and the government, and you know that businesses have not exploited this opportunity that much. Vibrant capital markets are critical to easing pressure on the banking system by providing an alternative source of long-term capital. Being cognizant of this, the government of Uganda will continue providing support to initiatives aimed at positioning Uganda's capital markets to better serve the long-term capital needs of the public and private sectors. So I want to support the idea of building more capacity that I have indicated, Madam Opondo. I think this is an area that is not understood by so many people, including legislators, key policy makers, politicians, ourselves. We cannot claim that we are well schooled in this area. So do not be ashamed to convene a meeting like for the ministers in the Ministry of Finance to educate them more about this. And not only that, we are recently in Parliament with you, and you saw the members actually indicated that they need to know more and to understand, to appreciate this avenue more. So I think that should do. You need to provide the time to actually educate us more about the operations of the capital market and the opportunities that exist in this industry. Lastly, I want to thank the outgoing board for steering the development and amendments to the capital markets regulatory framework as you have presented in your report. In fact, I would like to share a copy of that report and your presentation for my insights into some of the issues. I'm also happy to learn that the CMA Act is in the process of being amended to incorporate the developments that have transpired since 2016, but also to provide a framework for approval of private equity funds. This is one of the core private sector development interventions, again, in the National Development Plan 3. Private equity is another avenue within the capital markets that is yet to be appreciated by members of the business community as a source of long-term capital. In reference to the private equity, I'm happy to note that through the Presidential CEA Forum, the President asked the CMA to work with the Ministry of Finance to harmonize the taxation regime of the private equity funds as a way of attracting savings into these investment vehicles and encouraging their domiciliation locally. It is important to note that businesses in Uganda have endured high interest rates from banks and unfavorable loan terms that have led to the collapse of many businesses. I don't know if Mr. Kasi will be so pleased to hear that. I want to ask the incoming board and management to seek more innovative ways through which businesses can tap into the existing funding opportunities in the capital markets. So that is an assignment for the new board. Government will support policy initiatives and provide the necessary financing to ensure that the private sector is able to access alternative long-term financing sources to finance private investment. Now, with these few remarks, I want to congratulate Mr. Saulo Selemba and the new members of the board for taking on the new task. Can we see that new board? Can they stand up for recognition?
As we get down to business of providing policy oversight, our focus will be on the key areas as highlighted by the Chairperson Emeritus. But for purposes of our noting, we need to work towards financial sustainability of CMA in seeking to implement the CMA strategic plan and capital markets related interventions in NDP3. CMA has an annual resource need of about 8.5 billion. These resources are critical to ensuring that we deliver on our promise to the different stakeholders and Ugandans in general. We shall explore different means of ensuring that CMA has the necessary resources to deliver on this promise to the stakeholders. One of the key things, Honorable Minister, is the visibility of the authority and the capital markets industry at large. At the core of our business is market development, to interest the investors, but also people who need funding. Secondly, Honorable Minister, the legal reforms, as highlighted, to provide a facilitative regulatory framework that eases access to capital markets for both investors and issuers. I am aware that the CMA and Collective Investment Scheme Acts have been identified as critical to this focus area. Automation of the processes and procedures at CMA will be critical in our term, and the organizational review, because we cannot achieve a lot if the structure impedes forward movement. So we shall ensure that the organization is fit for purpose, both in terms of staff capacity and strength. Honorable Minister, deliver on these ambitious focus areas will be dependent on the goodwill of both internal and external stakeholders. Stakeholder engagement, therefore, will be a key initiative of the board as we seek to deliver on our mandate. We shall not tire to knock on the doors, including yours, Honorable Minister, in our quest to ensure that we deliver on this promise. And we look forward to collaborating with all the other stakeholders in developing Uganda's capital markets. As I finalize, CMA has an outstanding brand, rich history and culture. CMA is associated with excellence and creativity, as well as a long-standing commitment to the Ugandan public, the economy, and the society. I do see it as our duty as a board to ensure that CMA continues to excel where it has strengths and comparative advantages. I am happy that as the new board is inaugurated, there is a blend of members who have institutional memory, but also the fresh blood, which I believe will push us to the next level. I wish to applaud management led by Mr. Keith Kalyegira for the great efforts to keep the authority afloat and vibrant. The board will work closely with management as we seek to meet the aspirations of CMA and the government of Uganda. Keith and the team, you have our support and confidence as the board, and I'm looking forward to working with you and the entire team.
All right, and of course, I'm joined by Ronan Ahava this morning to discuss more about what she's working on, besides the SMB Insight in there. And of course, she's taking up through what to expect in tonight's bulletin. Ronan, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. So what should we expect? What should the viewers expect? And what are you working on? What is trending in the business world lately?
So I'm going to be working on a story from Grain Council. We do know a lot of controversies around its funding, where we saw that NSSF is trying to block the funding that was, directed by General Salim Saleh, a 40 billion funding for that case. And they also want to deeply look at the funding of the Grain Council itself. How sustainable and how stable is its financial status?
Okay.
Yes, so I really want to know. I'm hoping that with that gathering that they have, called for, we'll be able to address some of these issues that are pertinent for public's viewership.
Okay. And well, when you look at the Grain Council, does this take us to the level to do the grains themselves, for example, maize, and looking at the quality in regards to the maize? Because if we look at the maize grains that we've been exporting to our neighboring countries, back in 2022, we had issues.
Yeah.
Kenya stopping the importation of those.
Yeah.
And so are these some of the things that they're going to highlight more about and the future of exporting quality maize?
Yeah, I believe so. And I think two things. First, it's going to be, of course, GMOs. We have had, GMOs try to shape up for the last year and all, where people are saying that genetically modified organisms
Yeah.
are not fit for the farmers, that the indigenous farmers should stick to the indigenous, seeds.
Okay.
And then also, Grain Council has come out before and it says it's not going to export, or government should block the export of unqualified or ungraded maize. And we do have a big market of our corn. That is in Kenya, South Sudan, DRC, Tanzania. We really export a lot of this corn. So the Grain Council comes in at a time. In fact, these meetings should be concurrent and they should be subsequent, like every time, because this is the biggest, one of our biggest export.
Okay.
Another thing I would also like to look at is that the price of maize has gone down. Of course, this is good for residents, for Ugandans, because of course everyone would want the prices of any product to go down, but it's not good for farmers. These farmers that sell, that starting points, that begin the chain. It might be good for the population, but it's not. It's going to leave the farmers marginalized and out of. Some will even opt for other farming practices.
Okay. And of course, as we're summing up here, I need to know also, is there any way the Ministry of Agriculture is among the key stakeholders in this discussion?
Yes, definitely. Since maize is one of our biggest, export, agriculture is the backbone of the country.
Sure.
If maize is the biggest export, Minister of Agriculture and Animal Industry should be, having a big engagement or should be a big stakeholder in this. So I believe so. And I'm really hoping that with today's, press conference, some of these questions that people are asking will be addressed.
Okay. And of course, Ronan Ahabo is going to be giving you more of that detailed report tonight in regards to the GMOs, of course, the issue of grains as well. So you should be making sure to turn on your screens by 9 p.m. here on Smart 24 TV for more business reports trending within the country on Smart 24 Business today. And after the break, we're heading on ground. Smart Means Business still continues here.